Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're discussing the supermoon in Sagittarius and what it means for your zodiac sign. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for regular updates on what the stars have in store for you. Just a little bit of housekeeping. I have changed the channel. It is in keeping with the fact that this supermoon is happening in my 10th house. And I just feel like I'm taking the channel in a slightly different direction. I'm doing what is more resonant with me. I have also found that Saturn this year sitting on my moon is ruining my life. It's not really, but I don't want to be associated as an astrologer with just one planet anymore. It doesn't ring true. I have changed my channel a couple of times. I'm a Scorpio, we transform, we rebirth, but I want to do something that is more in alignment with me. And with time and reflection, this is just the way that I want to change things. Another thing that's happening is that I am offering personal readings, astrology and tarot, but I'm also offering remote Reiki sessions as I have had my attunements and I can now do distance Reiki. So I am offering that as a service as well. I have done my attunements. If you want to see a video on the attunement experience and becoming a Reiki practitioner, you can let me know in the comments. I have found Reiki to be very transformational in my own life, and the experience of it is the closest thing to magic that I think exists. So yeah, it's been a very interesting experience for me, and it has led to professional development as I am now offering this as a service. So if you're interested in that, you can email me and express your interest in it and I will get back to you. Readings are now available this month. So without further ado, let's get into the rest of the video. This supermoon in Sagittarius is bringing us themes of adventure, freedom, and higher awareness. The full moon in Sagittarius is a time to check in with our belief systems, our sense of adventure, where we could use a bit more freedom, where we could use a bit more fun, and a bit more knowledge in our lives. So this is going to mean something different for every single zodiac sign, but it does have its own unique themes, the main ones being, as I mentioned before, adventure and expansion and awareness and knowledge. This full moon is a supermoon, meaning that it is more intense. It's not as intense as last month's lunar eclipse in Scorpio, don't worry. In fact, the energy of Sagittarius is adding a bit more hope, a bit more optimism, and a bit more faith after a very transformative and potentially for you tumultuous time with the eclipses. This full moon has a supportive aspect to Saturn and a rather challenging aspect to Neptune. Neptune is actually forming a T-square with the Sun in Gemini and the full moon, supermoon in Sagittarius. Now that's in the mutable signs, meaning that the challenges are a little bit easier to negotiate or adapt to or navigate than it would be if this was in fixed sign energy. In fact, the fixed sign energy with Saturn in Aquarius is adding a sense of support and structure to this full moon. It may be that the work and responsibility you've been taking in the Aquarius side of your chart is going to be helping you grow and develop something or reap the rewards of something in the Sagittarius area of your chart, while experiencing a bit of confusion with where Pisces falls in your chart. I will get into that for the individual zodiac signs. Just know that where we have been putting in the work or the discipline with something, we may be noticing a payout, but we may also be kind of confused or potentially idealistic or delusioned or just confused on what this is actually going to entail. So this full moon has a higher awareness, but it also is a bit of a mixed bag. The best way to think about this full moon is that a Sagittarius is the sign that rules travel. You can think about how when you're in a plane, in an aeroplane, and you're really high above the ground, and you can see down, you have this completely different perspective. That's why Sagittarians love travel. They love getting a different perspective. They love getting a higher awareness of the world around them and seeing beyond where they are right now. You can get this amazing view, this bird's eye view of the land below you that looks so very different than when you're walking amidst that land. There's a sense of freedom with it for a lot of people, maybe a sense of fear with others. But this is what a full moon is when it's in Sagittarius. It is that higher awareness, that going beyond, going above where you currently are at, and perhaps going above the changes that have been thrust upon you with the Scorpio full moon lunar eclipse. And The funny thing about this is that we will have these views with Saturn. Saturn will be like these pockets of air where we can see how far we have actually come. We can see how high up we've gone. We can see the changes that are taking place and a reflection on what we've learned getting there. Whereas with Neptune, Neptune's kind of the fog between the plane and the earth, you know, the higher perspective in the land. There is kind of this confusion going on, and you just have to trust your intuition and your inner navigation system of the direction that you're going in, and trusting that things are working out in your favor with Sagittarius. Sagittarius has this very optimistic energy, and Sagittarius coming after Scorpio energy is about tapping into that faith and that belief system despite the deaths and the changes and the rebirths and the painful psychological transformations that come with Scorpio energy. That death and transformation, the deep darkness that comes with Scorpio, and then there's the Sagittarian optimism, expansiveness, wanting to get the higher picture, wanting to try a different route, wanting to take a different path, wanting to be free, you know, because when you've lost something with Scorpio energy, there comes a freedom with it. When something has been removed from your life, when something has changed, when something has just been extinguished from your life, when something really has changed, as painful as it can be, Sagittarius energy does give you the freedom to explore potentially what that really means, or, you know, explore your faith, explore your beliefs, really. So that's what this Sagittarius full moon is about. It's maybe about tapping into your faith regarding the changes that have taken place after eclipse season. So I am going to pull a card for this. I'm aware my candles have gone out. I might have to relight those. It has just actually gotten really dark. There is a storm has just suddenly crept in despite being sunny all day, so I'm kind of lucky I didn't film outside for this. But let's get a card to reflect this Sagittarius full moon's overall message. It is a supermoon, as I say. If you have any placements at Sagittarius, Virgo, Pisces, or Gemini that are in the 20-degree era of any of those signs, you might be finding that this full moon is making you slightly more reactive, would be the word, because supermoons are emotional, but emotional is a huge spectrum. You know, you can be regarded as an emotional person mostly because you are likely to cry, but being an emotional person comes with being elevated, euphoric, or angry. Those are all emotions. So when I say emotional, it means that it just brings your feelings to the surface regardless of what form they actually take. So let's see what this Sagittarius supermoon is bringing us. Ooh, High Priestess. That's very Neptunian. And underneath we have the Four of Swords. Okay, so square to Neptune, watch your dreams. Watch your dreams. There could be some very interesting insights coming through in your dream state, because whenever Neptune is involved with a full moon in any capacity, strongest being a conjunction, but this is a square. Whenever Neptune is involved in any capacity, this can be a time where our dreams are very vivid. They're very unusual. They could actually be clairvoyant. They could be predictive, or they could be premonitions, predictive, or it could just be that they're letting you know what your subconscious blocks are. Because with a square to Neptune, it's very likely that it's subconscious blocks that are coming up around this full moon in terms of the troubles or the challenges that you're finding with that square. A lot of it can be from within, and it can be that your dreams are exposing where you maybe have an issue or two to address in order to feel more faithful or more optimistic or more expansive, or what's getting in the way of some adventure in your life, you know, that kind of energy. So the High Priestess is really asking you to tap into the spiritual and trust in what you cannot see, because I think for many, you may find around this full moon, because the square to Neptune is there, that we can have very strong intuitive hits on something, or something can be showing up in our tarot cards, in our astrology or something, and we can have this very strong feeling that something is happening or something is going to happen, and then the world can reflect something completely different back, and we can lose our faith, which is the Sagittarius part. But this High Priestess card is kind of saying trust your intuition. Things don't always happen on your timeline. Things don't always happen there in the moment with a full moon. Sometimes it can take 2 weeks for the results to show. One of the other things that can come up with this full moon, based on the High Priestess as well, and the astrology, because it's a super moon, is that we might actually encounter some secrets or information coming out that we weren't prior, we didn't have a prior awareness of. So just expect that may come out around this time with the High Priestess there. There might be something that you're not aware of because you don't have the full picture, and even the information that comes out, if it's, especially if it's on the full moon, might not be 100% the full picture, and it might take a couple of weeks for the clarity to come in. So I have an astro dice here, and I'm going to roll it and see who is the luckiest sign for this supermoon. We have Aquarius. See if you can see that. Yeah, Aquarius. What zodiac sign needs a hug around this full moon? Okay, we have Capricorn. That makes sense. It's in your 12th house. We have Capricorn. Can you see? Yeah, Capricorn. You guys need a hug. So if you have Capricorn in your life, give them a hug. What sign is the luckiest in love? Leo, of course. That makes a lot of sense. In your 5th house, this full moon, what sign is the luckiest in career? Pisces. That makes sense because it's in your 10th house. How do they know? Final question. What zodiac sign is going to have an epiphany around this full moon? Libra. Libra. So don't worry if your zodiac sign didn't come up, because I'm going to get into all the individual zodiac signs, and I'll maybe do the astro dice for each one and see what the most significant sign is for you while we're talking about your astrology and things. So let's hop into it. The timestamps are listed below. What's your sun, moon and rising, whichever resonates most with you, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye. Hi Aries, sun, moon and rising. Aries, this full moon is happening in your 9th house. So this is very much to do with travel. So you might have travel plans around this time. You might be planning a vacation. You might be going on a vacation. You could be traveling very soon, maybe in the next month or so with this lunar month. It could also be that you are involved in issues. I say issues, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be a problem. Themes around your education, your higher education, your higher courses. You could be taking important exams. You could be graduating. There could be all sorts of things going on surrounding your higher learning experience. And for some of you, I'm going to drop my astro dice. For some of you, this could be that you are actually focusing on your faith and your belief system around this time. So these could be things that are coming up for you in terms of a theme, Aries. Be responsible in these areas. If you are traveling, get travel insurance. If you are taking a vacation, make sure that you are aware of all the details. With Saturn there, you will benefit from being responsible. With Neptune in your 12th house, it could be a bit of confusion. You might be missing details here and there. Check in with your friends. If you're in university, check in with your colleagues. Not your colleagues, your classmates, other students, and see if you've missed anything. If you're traveling, check in with who you're traveling with to make sure you've not missed any important information. There could actually be some confusion comes up surrounding a trip that you're taking, or documents, visas, that kind of thing. So just make sure that you're getting all the information. We have had a Mercury retrograde period, and in that period you could have missed a few important facts, or certain things could have come up you need to revise. They could come up again. So with Saturn and Aquarius, be super responsible, check your documentation. If you're having personal issues in your life, talk to a parent or an older friend. Emphasis on older friends, so people that are maybe 4 or 5 onwards years older than you, people that have a bit more experience, because if you're stuck with a personal issue surrounding your faith, surrounding your belief system, you might get better information or advice from an older friend, because Saturn's there. So someone who is more experienced, someone who's more mature, that can give you a different insight. So let's see if we have any significant signs come up for you, Aries. We have Taurus. Maybe you want to ask a Taurus for advice. Maybe you want to connect with a Taurus friend, or a Taurus person could be significant in your life at this time, Aries. So that's what I have for you. I hope you have a beautiful full moon, and I will talk to you soon. Hi Taurus, welcome to the full moon in Sagittarius for you. So Taurus, this is happening in your 8th house. This is the financial axis for you, meaning that you could be coming into some money at this time. You could be becoming more interested or invested in your finances. There could be money returned to you, or it could be that you actually owe money that you're becoming aware of at this time. The 8th house is usually to do with other people's money, but there is a supportive trine from your 2nd house, where the sun is, to Saturn in Aquarius, which is the 10th house, meaning that there may be some financial payout or gift or reward for the work you have done in your career, or based on your good, mature perspective, your good, mature reputation, because Saturn's there, which is really finessing your reputation. You're taking it seriously, you're taking your career seriously, and that hard work is maybe going to pay off financially or with some kind of gift, maybe from a boss at this time. The confusion lies with your friends, so you might just be feeling a little bit disconnected or confused with social media, with your friendships. You might be feeling a little bit confused about your long-term wishes, your long-term goals. You could also have some kind of intuitive connection with a friend. Maybe you have an intuition that something's up with a friend and you're thinking of them and then they call you. And you could be a bit confused about what the whole thing means. You know, what's the spiritual perspective? What does this mean? You could be really looking into and over-reading signs and synchronicities at this time too. With Neptune there, sometimes instead of Googling the answer to signs or spirit animals or number sequences, you should just go with your first intuitive feeling, Taurus. So that is something to pay attention to. It does look like you could be coming into money. It might actually come out of nowhere, because with Neptune you might be thinking, how did this happen? What does this mean? Well, how did it get here? And it could just have been that you've manifested it with Neptune in the 11th house there. It could be that you've manifested it. Let's have a little look, Taurus, and see what significant sign is coming up for you. Libra. Okay. So the Libra sign is significant for you. There could be a significant Libra in your life. Your Libra could be the friend that you're maybe connecting with intuitively. It could be that you are interested in a Libra, or it could be that this is coming from a law firm, or the tax people, or you know, a contract that is paying out money to you. It could be something legal, something clerical with the Libra energy there. It could be from the courts, any of that sort of stuff. So that is what I have for you, Taurus, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Gemini. Gemini, this supermoon is in your 7th house, which is to do with partnerships. So your partnerships and your relationships are in the spotlight around this time. So this could be that you are taking a partnership to the next level. This could be that you're leaving a partnership. It really just puts the energy surrounding your relationship into the forefront for your life. There is a positive support going on here from Saturn in your 9th house, meaning that perhaps the philosophical work or the legal work or the shifting in perspective, seeing the higher perspective, changing your belief system, maybe that is all benefiting your relationships in some way. It could be that you have decided, maybe around this full moon, you're getting married. It could be that you are moving in together or signing a lease together or something like this. It could be that you are taking a trip with a partner for the first time or something like that. But the 9th house matters are positively supporting your partnerships. The trickiness and confusion comes in with Neptune in the 10th. So it could be that you're maybe a bit confused about your career or your work or your boss, or you have some sort of confusion surrounding the father or something like this. All of these energies are sort of adding a touch of confusion to your partnership life. So it could be that for you, you're maybe finding that you actually are in a relationship where perhaps one of you hasn't been entirely honest about your long-term goals and wants and, you know, hopes for the relationship, or perhaps one of you hasn't been entirely honest about your career goals or how much you want to dedicate time to work or something like this. There could be something that comes up that is a bit confusing that impacts your partnerships in that way. Provided you handle it with a very mature and reasonable Saturnian response, it should be fine. The full moon will only ever bring up issues that need to be addressed. So it may be around this time that it's just amplifying what is already there, and that could be something that feels really positive for you, or it could be something that needs to be addressed, Gemini. So it could also be that you are actually manifesting a partnership at this time if you are single, and if you are, it could be linked to your study, your higher study, or it could be linked to your travel or your holiday plans. That's what I have for you, Gemini. Let's have a look at what sign might be most significant for you. Cancer. Ooh, Cancerians, sun, moon and rising. So a Cancer person could be very significant to you, or this could be that you have some significant events coming up in Cancer season, which is just around the corner. This could also say that family matters could come to your attention around this time. So that's what I have for you, Gemini, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Cancer, welcome to your supermoon forecast. So Cancer, this supermoon is happening in your sector of work, of routine and health. So it could be around this time, Cancer, that things are reaching fruition, culmination, or coming into the spotlight in terms of your day-to-day work where you're employed. Could also be that your health and fitness is coming to your attention, and these are all things that are going to take your thoughts. Where you have been responsible in terms of your finances, you may see benefits in those areas. So if you have been very cautious and working very hard on your taxes, your finances, your joint investments, these kind of things, there could be some kind of payoff in terms of your health and well-being. Maybe you've more money to invest in your wellness or in your work, or maybe you have a tax rebate coming in from your work. But it is also very likely, Cancer, that if you've been doing a lot of psychological work with the 8th house there with Saturn, if you have been seeing a therapist or a counselor, you may notice some sort of payoff in terms of your physical and emotional health that you might become aware of. Maybe something happens and you notice that the way that you handle it is very different to how you would have handled it years ago if it's a work situation. So if there was a work crisis, you might realize that you've actually really matured and you're handling things so much better. And perhaps this is going to pay off in your work. Maybe maybe your boss is thinking, wow, they've handled that really well. Maybe we should talk about elevating ever so slightly. If you have pets, if you have or you're getting a pet, the 8th house with Saturn there can also be that it would be a good idea to get insurance, not because anything's going to happen, but because it might make you feel better with the link between Saturn and the 6th house, because the more responsible you are to your pets, the better it will be. If you're planning a trip, you might be worried about leaving your pet because Neptune's in the 9th house. So that's sort of the way that ties in. If you're taking a trip and you have a pet, you might be worried about leaving them for some reason. So, getting the formalities and making sure they're taken care of, that sort of thing, or what could come up around this time. But for some of you, it could be that you're actually getting a pet. Other ways this can come up with Neptune as a challenge to your 6th house is that with Neptune in the 9th house, you might be finding if you've been traveling a lot or you're taking a trip, you might notice that you feel a bit confused about it or unsure about it, or maybe you're building up too high an expectation about it. And you don't want to end up being disappointed. So it's just sort of saying to you, there's a bit of confusion coming in from your 9th house matters to maybe your belief system is impacting the work that you do, and you're thinking, am I really aligned with this? And do I have to maybe make a change? So Cancer, let's see what zodiac sign is coming up for you as significant. Ooh, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, sun, moon and rising people may be significant for you around this full moon, or it might just be giving a note to the fact that you could be traveling around this time, or you could be really embracing the Sagittarius energy. So that's what I have for you, Cancer, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi, Leo. Welcome to your supermoon segment. So Leo, this is happening in your 5th house of love, creativity, pleasure, joy. It's also to do with the arts. It's also to do with children, your children, or children that you work with, that sort of thing. So this is lovely because this is bringing up a lot of creativity. So maybe you are finding out around this time that your creative project is being released or is getting off the ground. It could also be that something you love is developing. You could be feeling a lot of love and excitement around this time. It could also be that you are finding out around this time that you're expecting a baby, or you could be having a baby, you could be giving birth around this time. But for a lot of you, it could just be this feeling of love and joy and pleasure that you're wanting to enjoy around this time. Now there's a really lovely aspect to Saturn, so there is a sense that maybe for some of you, if you've been dating someone and it's been going really well, this is where you want to make it official. It could be if you're in a relationship, you're deciding that you want to inject a bit more romance and a bit more pleasure into the relationship, or you're deciding to actually have a child together or something like this. The trickiness and confusion is coming with Neptune in the 8th house. So it might be that there's some sort of psychological just quirk or itch or something that is making you feel a little bit nervous about these romantic developments. It could also be that you just have finances on your mind. Maybe you're a bit confused about your taxes or money that you owe or money that you are owed or something like this. But it could be for a lot of you, there's just this little psychological confusion and you're sort of thinking, maybe I need to meditate, maybe I need to try a different type of therapy, maybe I need to, look into this. What is this psychological thing that's maybe holding me back from feeling completely in the moment and completely at peace, especially in relationships, Leo. So let's see what zodiac sign is significant for you around this time. Taurus. Okay, so we have Taurus, Sun, Moon, and rising people. If you can see that, it might be significant to you around this time. So that's what I have for you, Leo, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi, Virgo, Sun, Moon, and rising. So Virgo, this full moon is happening for you in your 4th house. This might be a time where family matters or home and property matters come to a head. You might around this time be declaring that you're moving, that you're purchasing a home. There could be a new addition to the family. You could be completely changing up your living space. Or news could be coming out surrounding your family. Maybe your family members one of your family members has something they want to tell you, Virgo. So this has a positive aspect with it to Saturn in your 6th house. So it might be that the work you have been doing on your health, your well-being, is or the work you've been doing at work, where you have been very disciplined and structured and not complained, is paying off in some way. It could be paying off in terms of a promotion, because we do have the Sun trine Saturn at this point, and the Sun is opposite the full moon. So it could be that there is this knock-on effect where you get a promotion, you get more status, and this is going to positively impact your family, or you might get to announce this to your family, or maybe you're being promoted and you can now buy a home, or maybe you are moving in with someone you work with. There are changes here that are linking up your work and professional life to your home life, and there seems to be a significant change going on, or you're becoming aware of what you want in terms of your living space and maybe even your family going forward. The confusion, Virgo, is coming from your partnerships. So it might be for some of you, if you're in a relationship, you could be, for whatever reason, keeping it a secret from your family, or there could be something going on with the relationship that you're wanting to keep from your family, and like a personal matter in your relationship or your dating life, and maybe you're finding out that your family is picking up the wrong end of the stick and stuff like that, or they're assuming things and there's maybe some misinformation. So try to stay as cool-headed with that as you can if there is a bit of confusion going on surrounding your partnerships and how that is impacting your family life. Or it could be that with a partner, you guys have sort of got a bit of confusion about what the living situation is going to be, what the housing situation is going to be, what you want to do with the house, or how you want to expand or not expand your family. So that's what I have for you, Virgo. Let's get your most significant sign. Cancer. So you could be dealing with a Cancer person. They could be significant for you, or it just could be putting that emphasis on home and family. That's what I have for you, Virgo. I hope you have a beautiful full moon, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi, Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So Libra, this supermoon is happening in your 3rd house of communication. It is also to do with your siblings, and it is to do with your neighbors. So this full moon for you could be a pivotal conversation. This could be a time when you're coming into some information that you didn't know before. This could be a time when you're having a very significant heart-to-heart. And you could just be coming into some kind of information that has a profound emotional impact on you. I think with this aspect to Saturn in your 5th house, if you're dating somebody, or you're romantically interested in someone, or have a crush on someone, this might be a time when you put yourself forward, like you send them a message, or you reach out to them, or you communicate to them. If it could also be the case that someone reaches out to you romantically. So with Saturn being in the 5th house, where you have maybe felt like you were taking dating more seriously, or maybe dating has been harder to come by, you could be realizing with this Sagittarius full moon, or even your creativity, you could realize that there's maybe been some throat chakra stuff, some imbalances. Maybe you've not felt like you could articulate what you want, or there could have been some restriction there, and with this full moon you're kind of feeling like, oh, maybe I need to just say something, or maybe I need to speak on something. So it could be a heart-to-heart going on for you romantically, or an important conversation actually surrounding your children with Saturn there. There could be important news coming in about a child, with a child, or of a child on the way. So other things that are happening for you with Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is in your 6th house. So there's a little bit of confusion work-wise going on. Maybe you're confused about what you're doing day to day. Maybe that's not been incredibly clear to you if you've started a new job or something. Maybe you're getting mixed information, or a bit of confusing energy surrounding your health and your well-being. And this is amplified by the Sagittarius full moon in order for you to go seeking answers, in order for you to go seeking different perspectives, or maybe different opinions with the Sagittarius full moon, maybe even looking further afield on something or even abroad on some matter that is kind of confusing to you. This is just an energy that will pass after the full moon. It might just be that it's bringing the confusion to a head so that you can then let it settle and then digest it and understand it. But this is really focusing on your communication, Libra, more than anything else. So let's see what zodiac sign is most significant to you. Cancer. They've been coming up for a lot of people, actually. I think Cancers. Okay, so a Cancer sun, moon, or rising might be pretty significant to you around this time. This might also put a little bit of an emphasis on family matters. So that's what I have for you, Libra, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi, Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising. Welcome to your supermoon in Sagittarius segment. So, Scorpio, this is in your financial sector. So, you might be finding around this time that your finances come to the fore. This might be that you've come into money, saved up money, or you're becoming very aware of your spending. Now, the work that you've been doing in terms of home and family, where you've been very dedicated, very disciplined, or you've been making mature choices in terms of your property, your home, or maybe you've been renovating, or maybe you've been trying to change the energy of your home, because feng shui, the energy of a house, can affect our life and the state of our life. So maybe you're noticing that the work that you've been putting in there is either going to have a pretty big bill on it with the supermoon, or it can be that the energy shifts are bringing in some money, or you're finding that you finally have the money to finance something in terms of your home, or on the alternate side, that something to do with the home is costing you. So maybe you're putting a huge down payment on a home, and this is going to take a lot of dedication, or maybe you're realizing you want to move and you're starting to gain the financial awareness of how you're going to do that going forward. So there's a bit of confusion coming in with Neptune. I feel as though for a lot of people, this is either coming in as being, over expecting and being kind of deluded, or it can be just being so confused and not having a clue what's going on. This is in your 5th house. If you're having a bit of a creative lull, or just a little bit of confusion about what makes you happy, or it can be something as simple as, if you do come into money, you're like, is this actually making me happy at all? This isn't making me happy at all. Or maybe you're buying a home and there's something about it where you're like, I don't know if I'm happy about this. It's Neptune. You're kind of confused in this sector of what makes you happy, especially when it comes to money. It's like, is this making me happy? Are my choices making me happy? There's a little bit of confusion, and it is part of this full moon, and a lot of the time it comes up so that you can deal with it and figure it out from there. But with Neptune, it's important to trust your intuition on that one. If you're, trying to figure out what does make you happy, or you're a bit confused about, say, your children, or your creative projects, or even your romantic life, they're just understand that there is a bit of confusion there. Or it might be that you're completely idealistic about it and maybe hopelessly optimistic on something that may or may not be worth being optimistic on. It just depends, really. It's a confusing energy. It's a confusing energy to read on. Just going to say that with Neptune. But with Sagittarius being the supermoon, there is a huge focus on your finances and making sure that your financial setup looks the way you want it to look. So Scorpio, what sign is most significant for you? Capricorn. So you might be finding Capricorns are a big part of the supermoon for you. You could be dealing with Capricorns quite significantly. They could be showing up in your life quite significantly around this full moon. So that's what I have for you, Scorpio, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi, Sagittarius. Welcome to your supermoon forecast. This is your supermoon. So Sagittarius, this could be making you feel quite emotional. As I said before, emotions are a vast spectrum. It could be that you're feeling very optimistic, very happy. It could be that you're feeling very angry. It could be that you're feeling really sad. It could be that you're feeling all of the above. It's a heightened intensity. And all of these feelings are about you. It's about who you are. You could be feeling physically quite overwhelmed. You could literally feel like your body is vibrating, like maybe your body is going through a lot at the moment with this supermoon. Or you've been pushing yourself too hard and you just want to rest. Now, with this supermoon, it is important to lean into how you feel about yourself. Now, with Saturn in Aquarius for you, the work that you have been doing in terms of your relationships with your siblings, your neighbors, but also the way that you communicate, the way you reach out to people, the way that you ask for what you want, the way that you state what you want, the way that you communicate in general, that hard work is going to pay off. So maybe you have forged really good relationships with your siblings, and now They're there to help you do the changes that you want to do, make the changes you want to make for yourself and who you are. Maybe that's physically, maybe that is that your connections are helping you, you know, align yourself with the right people to help you make these changes. Maybe the right hairdressers, maybe the right coaches, maybe the right anything for you to grow. The work that you've been doing on expressing yourself is important, and it is showing up for you around this full moon. The confusion kind of comes in with Neptune though, so a lot of you could be feeling very confused. Neptune's very nebulous. There's kind of this foggy energy. There could just be something that you don't know, that it is disrupting your emotional security around this time. And maybe that's where the emotions come into this. With Neptune, sometimes it can be these mysterious feelings that are very linked to your emotional state and your subconscious, but they manifest physically. It could be that there's some confusion surrounding family or home matters, and this is maybe making you feel a little bit insecure. The point with this full moon though, for you Sagittarius, is that you are in the spotlight. This is a time to think about what it is that you truly want, who you want to be, who you are, who you've been, and just have this really profound checking in with yourself and how you've been doing so far. And if maybe with Saturn in the third, maybe you need to reach out to people more, maybe you need to talk to people more, maybe you need to connect with people more, or maybe you need to express yourself a little bit more around this time. Don't be afraid to reach out to people and talk about it, because you're probably on a lot of people's minds. When there's a supermoon in your sign, you're usually at the forefront of a lot of people's minds. So let's see what zodiac sign is showing up for you at this supermoon. Leo. Okay, so you could be having an experience with a Leo, sun, moon, or rising. They could be showing up in your life quite significantly. At this point, this is also saying that maybe you need to have a little bit more fun around this supermoon. Don't take it too seriously. Just allow yourself to have a laugh, allow yourself to have fun, allow yourself to smile and embrace that Leo energy. Maybe meeting up with a Leo is the best thing, because they're usually a lot of fun. So that's what I have for you, Sagittarius, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Capricorn, welcome to your supermoon segment. So Capricorn, this supermoon is happening in your 12th house, and you need a hug around this time, because a supermoon in the 12th house can really heighten your emotions that maybe you were suppressing. It can be a time where your dreams are very odd and very vivid, possibly a little supernatural. It could be a time when you have a supernatural experience. If you are looking to do something like Reiki or healing, or something like a tarot reading or something like that with the supermoon in the 12th house, wonderful time for illumination on what's going on with you or what the energies actually are. So if you're feeling very spiritual and very called to do something like that, certainly do, especially if it involves you relaxing, okay? Because there can be a lot of profound healing and shifts with the supermoon in your 12th house, and it is the first supermoon. It's the first full moon in your 12th house in a couple of years that's not an eclipse. So this one is a little bit more settled, and you can come to terms with maybe some of the growth that you've had to experience or the losses you've had to experience over the last couple of years. So the positive energy is luckily coming in from your ruler, Saturn, and Saturn in your second house is saying invest your money in your healing, invest your money in your subconscious, whether that's seeing a therapist, whether that's doing hypnotherapy, Reiki, EMDR, counseling, anything like that. Invest your money in these things for your own personal wellness, because you could find around this time that the financial work you've been doing and the material work you've been doing is allowing you a bit more freedom to explore other realms, explore your inner workings, and explore your subconscious. And it might be a time when you realize that you've actually made some money and you want to invest it in yourself, in your self-care. So the confusing energy is coming in from your third house, which means that with Neptune there, you might be a bit confused about a sibling. You might not be getting the whole picture there. You might not be getting all the information that you need. Could be a neighbor. Could be some news you received, just might seem a bit confusing. You're like, what do they mean by that? What does that mean? And Neptune just adds this sort of vague, cloudy information that it's not quite so easy to decipher. Again, trust your intuition on that, because you are very psychic at this time, and there is a bit of a supernatural thing going on for you at this point. You might be more drawn to supernatural things, and maybe that's why the messages are kind of unclear, because they're coming in a different form. So that's what I have for you, Capricorn. Let's have a little look and see what the most significant zodiac sign is for you around this time. Aries. An Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising could be significant for you at this time. That's what I have for you, Capricorn, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Aquarius, welcome to your supermoon reading. So Aquarius, you are having a very social supermoon because this is happening in your 11th house of friendships, social connections, the people that you associate with, and it's also to do with your hopes and wishes. So Aquarius, this full moon for you is letting you know who your friends are, who you want to spend your time with. There could be a key social event going on around this time. This is a wonderful time to network because the work that you've been doing on yourself, the personal growth, the personal expansion, working on yourself, healing yourself, being more mature in your approach is all paying off. And now you're going to find that there's some kind of manifestation comes where you've been working on your blocks. You know, you've been working on yourself since 2020 in a very profound way, and you've really been growing. You've really been getting serious with yourself and taking yourself more seriously, but in a good way, you know, being more mature in your approach to your world. And so this is paying off with this full moon in terms of the friendships that you're keeping, in terms of the social connections that you're making, and in terms of the wishes that you have for yourself. The confusion is financial. You're maybe a bit unsure about your money at the moment. You're maybe a bit unsure about your spending. You could be missing something. You could be a little too optimistic and spending more than you're actually comfortable with subconsciously. You know, you might feel like, oh, I've got disposable income, I'm going to spend this on this, that, or whatever, and then not actually realize how much you have been spending, and then suddenly feel a bit like, oh, shouldn't have done that. So just watch your money, what you're spending around this time, because it could actually make you feel a bit nervous. But I do think your responsibility of self is perhaps coming, you know, it's perhaps manifesting for you, Aquarius, as a wish, as something that you really wanted to happen, and it's now showing signs of happening. Or it could be a new friendship, or it could be that you're maybe realizing you want to let go of friendships that you've outgrown. That can happen as well. So let's have a little look and see what zodiac sign is significant for you. Virgo. Okay, so we have Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising showing up for you at this time, Aquarius. That's what I have for you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Pisces, welcome to the supermoon in Sagittarius. Pisces, this is your 10th house. So this is your career, it's your professional image, it is how you present yourself to the world, and it's what you're known for. It's also your career. So there could be some sort of significant accomplishment or change in your professional life around this time. Maybe you are getting a promotion, maybe you are changing career, maybe you're changing job, maybe you're having some sort of development in terms of your professional life, or making a significant change. But it feels like a reward based on the work and the healing that you've been doing behind the scenes. So it's supported by Saturn. Now, Saturn has been in your 12th house. You've been doing a lot of lonely work, a lot of subconscious healing, a lot of clearing, a lot of working on your psyche. And it could have been as well that you've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. You've not felt as much like you want to come out to the world. So you've been dealing with a lot of stuff privately, possibly for quite a long time, and there's some sort of reward coming with that, or some sort of manifestation coming with that. So people kind of know where you've been, what you've been working on, and how it's been going. So you're sort of in the forefront professionally at this time. The work that you've been doing behind the scenes is also benefiting your family and your home life. So it might be around this time that you are, you know, you could be getting a promotion or a pay rise, or your career could be taking off, and maybe you're now like, oh, I can build my home, or I can change homes, or something like this. Or maybe I can make things better for my family, or something like that. The confusion is coming from you. You could be feeling kind of tired, kind of lethargic, kind of down on yourself. Even if the whole world is applauding you, you could be feeling a little bit lonely, or a little bit just like not yourself, and sort of having an identity crisis. As a Pisces rising, when are we not? You could be having a bit of an identity crisis, feeling a bit confused about yourself. You could also be announcing a status change to the world. Maybe your relationship status has changed, or maybe your professional status has changed, and you're kind of putting it out there for everybody to see. So if you are putting out your relationship status for the world to see, it might be that you're announcing that you got married, or you've got engaged, or you have divorced, or you're single, or anything like this. And it's going to be a significant reflection, I guess, of where you're at. So let's have a little look and see what your what zodiac sign is showing up for you around this time. Gemini. Okay, so it is putting a lot of focus on Gemini season, so your 4th house of home and family, but this could also be that there's a significant communication coming to you around this time. Pisces, you could be hearing something very interesting, getting a text, getting an email, a friend request, or it could be that you're dealing with a Gemini person at this time. That's what I have for you, Pisces, and I'll talk to you soon.